Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's time for the back pages. It's Monday morning, a Monday morning in which the dust has settled after a massive day in the Scottish Premiership title race. Celtic move 3 points clear ahead of Rangers after defeating Dundee yesterday, as Rangers failed to defeat Dundee United at Tannadice. It's big. It's another twist in this fantastic title race, you could say. One that's not been great for the heart of us Celtic fans, but it's a morning that brings around a lot of the same conversation and discussion points that we've seen and heard about so many times this season. Before we go any further with the video, please make sure to go down below and hit the subscribe button. That would be much appreciated. We are so close to 33,000 subscribers. I think we're about 300 odd away now from that landmark on this road to 40k. And to get to 40, we need to get to 33 first. So please go down there and hit that if you haven't. And hit the like button as well when you're down there. It helps more people find this content. But let's talk about what is in these back pages this morning. So then, we're going to talk a lot about what has dominated, I think, the media, or the Scottish media, I should say anyway, over the past 24 hours, and that is the VAR discussion, refereeing decisions, because yesterday was a day that had a lot of questionable refereeing decisions. We'll come to that later on in the video, but there's one man that I want to talk about more than anybody else, and there's one guy dominating the back pages in all of his topless glory, and that is your man here, taps off, titles on, for Giorgos Giakoumakis. He was on fire yesterday. He got a hat-trick, which helped Celtic beat Dundee 3-2, in what was probably his best performance so far in a Celtic jersey. If you caught my match reaction yesterday, you'll know it was very rushed. I had work at 6 o'clock, so we had to get through it as quickly and thoroughly as possible. So I probably didn't get to express as much love as I have for this guy as I want to. That performance yesterday was something I've been waiting for, something I've been desperate for, and something I was so confident was going to happen. If you've been watching this channel long enough, you'll know for a fact that I am a huge fan of Giorgos Giakoumakis. I'm a huge fan of all the Greek players. Samaras, one of my favourites of all time. You know my love for Barkas, and now we've got Giakoumakis. I've wanted him to get one of those performances to silence the doubters, to silence the critics, and I think yesterday was that performance. I spoke about it from a technical point of view in yesterday's match reaction, but the kind of striker that he is something that Celtic have been missing for quite a while, and something completely different to the options we've had over the past few years. Yesterday, he showed all of those attributes of a striker that is going to be of great use to us when it is going to be tight in these title races. Those sort of goals, they've been hard to get in recent times. You know, we've not had a guy that can get on the end of crosses, use his body, use his physicality the way that he does. And yesterday, that was all of that there in front of us. That performance was brilliant. It was a real coming of him. It was fantastic. And I'm so glad that he's got that game, because you heard Ange Postecoglou's comments. He's happy about the reaction from way back when he missed that penalty against Livingston. It feels like an eternity ago. He deserves this. He deserves the glory. He deserves the celebrations. And that hat-trick yesterday could be one of the most pivotal moments in what could be a title-winning season for Celtic. Now, talking about title-winning season for Celtic, that's up for discussion. It's still anybody's title at this rate. However, your man here, Giorgos Giakoumakis, he's pretty confident. So, the pages, what they're saying, Giorgos Giakoumakis grabbed a hat-trick to extend Celtic's lead at the top of the table to 3 points, then insisted his side was going to win the league. The Greek striker ripped his shirt off as his late winner beat Dundee 3-2 and wasn't shy in expressing his thoughts. We've all seen the comments. Now, the question is, what is your reaction to the comments? I'm going to go right through mine just now, but it's certainly ruffled a few feathers on one side of the city, and it's got a bit of discussion going on amongst our own supporters. So I'll throw up what he said on screen. I've got it in front of me here. He did say, I hope and I think that we will win the championship. It's something we really want for us, for the club and for the fans. I think we are better in every single part of the team. We have a very good plan. We try to stay to the plan and stay committed to the plan. He talked about how he knows that we have the best squad in the country, how he thinks we'll win the championship, and it's really one of the headlines. And in terms of Celtic, the biggest headline of the weekend is really what I wanted to make this video about. Now, I know that that's going to split a little bit of a divide between fans. However, I can't help but admire the confidence of Giorgos Giakoumakis, but also may I quickly say I can't help but agree with Giorgos Giakoumakis. Not so much the title one, because the title one is still very much up for debate. Anybody can win this, and we'll come on to his opinion in a moment. But when he says we have the best squad in the country, when we're better in every single part, is he wrong? I believe him. That's my opinion as well. I think we have got the best squad in the country. I think we are better in every position compared to our rivals across the city. You know, that's very much up to yourself to determine whether you think he's right or wrong. But I think he's right. I think we have got the best squad, and I think we proved that a couple of weeks ago. You can bring up what happened in Europe all you like, but right now, there's one team that's 3 points clear at the top of the table. There's one team that's won a cup, and that's Celtic. And I think in January, we did make our squad the best in this country. I think there was very much a debate there, and there still is. I'm not saying that it's by miles or anything, but I think that there was very much a debate there. But January, the signings we made and the improvements we made to this squad in depth, for me, does enough to suggest that we have the best squad in this country and we are better in every single area. And that performance a couple of weeks ago at Celtic Park was the sort of coming of that. It was the real sort of, well, there we are. There you have it. And we've got a long way to go. We still need to prove that over the course of the next 11 league games. But I can't help but agree with Giorgos Giakoumakis, and I can't admire it more for the fact that he is coming out there and saying that about his fellow teammates. It shows the strength and character of himself, but also the strength and the relationship between this squad, that they have such a belief in each other. You know, if he's not saying those things, you know, okay, but the fact he is, I like that. It's a little bit of bite, it's a little bit of fire. But what about his league title comments? Now, this one is up for a bit more of a debate, I think, and I think that a lot of people have had a sort of mixed reaction to this. I admire, listen, Giorgos, I love it. I admire the confidence big time. I think that it's great to come out and say you think you'll win the title, because at the end of the day, we need that winning mentality. We need that winning attitude, and I think when you show that, it gives you all the more fire to go and improve it come the end of the season. However, what if you don't prove it come the end of the season? And that's where a lot of people have got a little bit sort of standoffish with this. I think a lot of people are maybe wishing that he kept that in-house rather than saying it to the media, in case come the end of the season he's left with egg on his face. Now, don't get me wrong. I know exactly how it feels to have egg on your face. I was the one that sat on this very chair and said one day that, you know, we'd win 10 in a row, that Shane Duffy would be the best centre-half in Scotland. And I was mocked for that. You know, I said what I thought at the time, and I was proven wrong, and that could very much happen with Giorgos Giakoumakis. So I understand why people are maybe a little bit hesitant to sort of agree with that part of it, or to fully back it. It is obviously a very risky thing to come out and say, especially when there's 11 games to go. But I admire the big man's confidence, I really do. I think that, you know, the manager and the team, they might say something behind the scenes and say, well, listen, son, hold your horses, we've still got a bit to go. But if that's how they're truly feeling, if every one of these players, which they should be, by the way, and you know, you're hoping that they can think they can win the title backstage, but if they're truly feeling that, I don't think they'll be fazed by it. I don't think that comment's going to add pressure onto them. You know, that's how they're feeling. That's how they should be feeling, whether people know it or not. And I think this is a Celtic side full of professionals who are good enough to go and back that statement up. I don't think this is a Celtic side who'll fall to the pressure. They might. Who knows? We've seen yesterday that we were in a pressured scenario and we left it late, but that's exactly it. For a side that I'm talking about here, we've shown it so many times that pressure, we can overcome it. We've done it against Dundee. We've done it against Dundee United. We've done it against Ross County. Once again, for a first half side, as some people were saying, we do pretty fucking well in the second half. So, you know what? I'm not too bothered by his comments. I can understand why people may be. But if he's confident, the big man gets to say what he wants, I suppose. And come the end of the season, people might look back at that and go, why did you say it? Why? I don't believe in superstition. So that pretty much makes me less bothered. But I think we can win the league. That was the main thing about today's video, but I feel like it would be sort of criminal not to touch on all the shouts of VAR, all the shouts of questionable referee decisions in this video. I feel like it's got to be touched on, it's got to be spoke about. Sorry if I'm knocking the mic all over the place. Even if people don't agree or agree with me, it seems like the conversation is rife once again. So near, so far for Gio is the headline. Gers boss, we should have taken chances. And that's exactly my sort of reaction to that game yesterday. I did get to sit and watch the entire game. I watched Dundee United versus Rangers. The Rangers somehow didn't win the game. Should they have got 2 penalties in the game? Do you know what? Probably aye. Probably they should have been penalties. Sakala, his shirt pulled, the handball in the first half. There were probably 2 incidents in which a penalty would have been awarded on different days. However, I want to make one point perfectly clear, and I'll come on to all the VAR stuff in a moment. Rangers had, about 29 chances or something yesterday in that game. It's your own fault for not winning the game if you can't take one of those chances. You can't keep blaming stuff on referees' decisions as well. I know we're very petty on both sides of this divide. We moan about referees' decisions all the time. However, Rangers had plenty of chances to win that game yesterday. Plenty. And they never took any of them. They have to be better if they want to win games. That's ultimately the reality of it. Because there was so many chances they should have scored yesterday. They weren't clinical enough. And I've been completely honest so many times about Celtic in similar situations. I've sat down in this chair umpteen times and I've said, do you know what? We can't just blame the referees. We weren't good enough in the final third. We didn't take our chances and we've paid the price for it. That's usually the first one I go to because that's normally it half of the time. Rangers were denied 2 maybe penalty chances yesterday. But the chances that they missed, it's more embarrassing than anything, half of them. However, we're hearing once again all the usuals from Chris Boyd, everybody else about VAR this, VAR that. These decisions happen up and down the country. Sometimes they're terrible. Yeah, it's one of those ones. It's just very, very, very annoying. If you're in that situation, you support that team. Maybe VAR is the way to go. I'm not a fan of it. I'm really not. I just don't have any faith it will work up here either with the poor officiating that we see. But even Alex Ray was saying yesterday they should have took their chances. I don't know. I feel like it's just becoming a typical response. I don't know. It's just becoming quite tiresome, to be honest. But if you're hard done by, I suppose that's what you're going to do. But we're top of the league by 3 points, so everything's good. I'm enjoying that. That'll do it for today. I've went on for a long enough. Make sure to hit like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video. We'll be back tomorrow with something else. But until then, I'll see you next time.